Hello, my name is Mariana Villar, and I present to you a deep dive analysis into the film 500 Days of Summer. To start off, the production company is Watermark Pictures. Some of the crew members are Mark Webb, the director, Mark Waters, the producer, and Scott Neutster and Michael Weber as the screenplay writers. Our main casts for our two main characters are Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Tom Hansen and Zooey Deschanel as Summer Finn. The release date for this film was July 17th, 2009, and the first distribution was by Fox Searchlight Pictures. So, now a short story summary. Tom Hansen meets Summer Finn, who he falls in love with. Although they date, they have different ideas of love and end up breaking up. The story goes through ups and downs of the relationship, and it breaks the illusion of meeting the perfect person. A note at the beginning of the film that pretty much sums it up is this is not a love story. This is a story about love. The two main themes in this movie that I think are the most important are expectations versus reality and love and relationships. So, for expectations versus reality, we see that our main character has this idealized view of love. He's expecting to have the perfect love story with the perfect person. He's always wished of finding the one, and he passes on these expectations onto a girl who doesn't believe, true. She doesn't believe in love. So, as we can see in the picture behind, that is an example of one of the expectations versus reality shots that we actually get in the actual movie. We see both things happening side to side, what he wanted to happen in his mind versus what actually happened. And then also love and relationships. Again, the two contrasting ideas of love between the two main characters, and the fact that relationships aren't always as good as they seem. It's This movie talks a lot about hindsight. Once our character realizes that not everything was perfect as he thought it was, and he sees this way after they break up. Now I'm going to talk about the two characters. First, Tom Hansen. He is the protagonist. He has an idealized view of love. Once again, he says that he is a big romantic. He falls for the idea of love, not for Summer. Um, that's one of the big things we see. Again, he doesn't really love her. He just wants somebody to love. He's torn down by the breakup. We see him going through all those stages of grief, being mad at her, blaming her, wanting revenge. And then we see him, being sad, wanting to get back with her, talking with her again, and then finally, putting it past him. And this causes him to focus on his career because he was not portraying, he was relying on Summer as his source of happiness instead of focusing on something that was actually making him miserable, which was his job at this boring company. And so he starts focusing on his passion for architecture after the breakup. And this doesn't necessarily mean that, this is the end of the character arc and he has become a great person. We see at the end that he still holds a bit of resentment towards Summer, especially after he sees her again and she's married, or I think she's married. And so now talking about Summer Finn, she is technically the antagonist. I don't want to say that she is that she's evil or that she was the reason for the breakup, but a lot of people have contrasting opinions on those two things. Was she wrong or was he in the wrong? But in the point of view of Tom Hansen, then she is the antagonist. She doesn't believe in love, but she does care for Tom. Uh, uh, and although she does, she never actually promises to be consistent, and she lets him know that, that's not who she is, but he persists and he keeps wanting to make it work. She does seem to lead him on as she dates him, even though not wanting anything serious. But at the end of the day, she does make her intentions clear. And at the end of the movie, people have change of heart, or she generally just didn't think Tom was the one, and she gets married at the end of the movie with somebody else. Okay, now I'm going to be talking about mise en scene, specifically production and costume design, which were the two elements that stood out the most to me. The warm lighting and brown tones of the scenes give the film a nostalgic and cozy atmosphere. Summer's stylish light blue clothing is beautifully contrasted with these tones to indicate her role in Tom's life throughout the film. In the bottom, I included a short video of somebody explaining the mise en scene. And then right here, I have an example of a clip where we can see a lot of brown tones and, Summer's light blue shirt and the way
See,
it
the love like
captivates,
that can make a good
Tom
man
throughout the
turn
movie.
bad.
Um, I don't know. I think that
So
was a specific reason why I
please,
enjoyed this movie so much.
please,
Just every time you're watching,
let
it feels,
me, let
so
me
nostalgic. Even though
get
you
what
know,
I
I
want.
I was like 4 at the time. So, um, but these elements just really give the movie such a nice, comforting feel, and it makes the viewer really interested in the story as a whole. And of course, it also works as a narrative because we see the way Tom's life was before meeting Summer, and there was all these dual colors, although they were very warm, right, which is still pleasant. But once Summer came into his life, there was all these signs of blue, which actually I think the director said that were also there to, to make Zooey Deschanel's eyes pop out. And then for technical elements, sound was very important in this film. The soundtrack mood matches the scenes and has songs with lyrics that resonate with the storyline. Music is something that brought Tom and Summer together. So, one of the big things was that the way they met, Tom always thought she was beautiful, but they met in an elevator, which is a very famous scene, and he's listening to the Smiths, and she says, "I love the Smiths," right? And so from then on, he's like, "Oh, we have similar interests." Uh, I and then he imagines this whole life with her, Um, and so, yeah, the soundtrack really complements the film well. And some of the lyrics, as we saw in the clip before, please, please, please let me get what I want, again, a very Tom thing. The cultural impact. So this film has unconventional themes. It deviates from your typical rom-com, although I can't think of other examples of other movies that have a similar, they don't end up together at the end. What a shocker. But this film, I guess it's just more popular in the media because of its aesthetic. Again, because of the music, it's very popular nowadays. The style, the clothing that she wears and that he wears is also something that's very on trend right now. So we see the film, we see a lot of edits of it in the social media. And then the message that teaches the audience about confusing our ideals with reality when it comes to relationships. A lot of people can um, I guess, relate to that. And that is also a thing that makes this film a big cultural impact. And these are all of my citations. They include where I got information from, as well as the videos and all of the images. And then these last two slides are I had to include to credit the people who made these slide templates. Well, that's it for today. So thank you for watching.